my master, the greatest contemporary urbanist worldwide, the iconic Jan Gehl. Thank you for coming. Jan is now present just for this keynote. This is a great honor for our international community on proximities to have a keynote. Jan,
thank you very much.
The floor is for you.
One thing we have all in common in this room, that is that all of us are working for Homo sapiens in many sizes and colors and creeds, but it's the same biological animal we are working for, all of us. Same senses, same movements, same aspirations. There are so many things which are the same. And when we talk about proximity, I really think we shall take the departure point in people, in Homo sapiens, and I'll talk about the matter of attractive and inviting proximity, because proximity has to be seen in relation to the quality of the built environment for people. We talk about proximity for a reason. It's the idea of the 15-minute city. And what we really mean is to make good cities for people, Homo sapiens. And we all are in agreement in that the end result should be a sustainable city, a city which provides healthy opportunities, a city good to be a child in, a city good to be old in, and a fine and lively neighborhood with social connections. What is needed is mixed use, a reasonable density, and a good proximity. And the key word here is very much more walk and more bike and less motoring. I'll tell you about my studies of architecture. I studied architecture in the 50s. That was the heyday of modernism and also of motorism, which was, of course, what provided the mobility which the modernists need. My studies in the 50s was entirely modernistic. We were hanging over models 5 kilometers, always 5 kilometers up, and we were just moving objects around, and when we couldn't see the objects there, and when the objects was interesting, we stepped back and said, this is an interesting city. And we were told that whatever we built as architects and planners had no influence on the happiness of people, because people were adaptable. They will accept everything and be happy just to have a new dwelling with running water and a water closet. They will make them happy. Don't worry. The only thing we should worry of as architects and planners were aesthetics. And this professor of mine, he was famous for saying the good housing area is a place which looks good from the freeway. And it doesn't matter if it's a half moon or a stick, looks good from the freeway. Then people will be happy. We know now, and we have been forced, because at that time they didn't know anything about that what we built have a strong influence on the way people live and the way people move and everything about human life. We know today that we form the cities, but then the cities, they form our lives and form our quality of life. We form the buildings, and then they form the way we can live, how much we see the other ones and what we do, how often we come out. All these things are depending on what kind of houses we build. We know that we form the details, but then the details form us. Some places we wouldn't like to go at all, and sometimes we want very much to stay. But most importantly, maybe, is that we know today, and it took 50 years of hard work of watching how people used built environment to find out that there were very specific rules of what is a good place and what is not a good place. We know that today we can make a square which is so impossible that the only thing people are thinking about is how fast can I run out of this place? We have even a number of quality criteria, and in some of these places we can see of the 12 quality criteria, even 13 have been overlooked. People run out. But we also know that we can make a modern place where people come from all over the city because it's a wonderful place and you would like to be just there. So we know this, that we can make awful places, we can make nice places. Let's make attractive proximity when we know what it is about. We also know that we can make wonderful places to walk, routes. Just as we can make squares, we can also make tours in the city structure, which is wonderful, and you can hardly stop walking. And you can make other places which is absolutely awful, and you get tired before you have to start, before you can see for the first 2 kilometers, there's nothing to take enjoy in. Working for proximity, as I see it, is working for people. And then you will say, what about the bicyclists? Yeah, we have come to realize that bicycles should be looked upon as sort of people. It's a sort of fast pedestrians. If they are so fast, if they're too fast, they start to be motoring, and that's not people. But as long as they are not too fast, they are just fast pedestrians, and they have the same. They want the same thing as any other people. Let me talk a little bit about urban structures, because good proximity and inviting and attractive proximity is very much, to me, a matter of quality, and that is very much a matter also of the kind of city structure you want to organize it in. I can refer to Venice, which is a city where they're born with inviting proximity. Actually, in Venice, you can walk 20,000 steps a day, and you didn't realize before you get back to the hotel that you have walked all day, and you've had a wonderful time because everything is so close and it's walkable. It's a city built for people. My point here is that city structure built for people, that will be city structure built before the modernists and the motorists took over. City structure built for people is very good for inviting attractive proximity. I invite you to the city of Copenhagen. A city of Copenhagen, the inner city, the old city, is a very good proximity, and it's a very good quality for people. And then I found that all cities, all old city centers, all city places made before modernism, they always have this magical size, 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. And what is that? That's from here. That's exactly what you can walk with pleasure in one trip. You can walk 1 kilometer. 15 minutes, city of Copenhagen here, Main Street. Takes 12 minutes to walk from one end to the other. Most people say they use 20 minutes, but we have timed them. They use 40 minutes because it's so nice to walk on a nice city structure. So if we look at city centers and cities built for people around the world, they always seem to be around this magical feature of 1 kilometer. It could be Zurich, could be Brisbane, could be Pittsburgh, and will be Copenhagen. And I have 20 European cities, all of them 1 square kilometer. That's the old city built for people. And furthermore, in a place like Copenhagen, you can see that all the streets are just bending very closely. So the quality of the street, the route, you cannot see, you have to walk a kilometer, but you walk almost straight, but then you can see it's closing. In Copenhagen, even you walk from 1 square to the next square, to the 3rd square, to the 4th square, and that's what I call psychological proximity. You are lured there before you realize you are there. It's like a stair in a house. You never, if you have a stair which goes all the way to the 5th floor, you'll never start. But you go 8 steps, and then you turn around, and then it's only 8 steps, and then you turn around, then it's 8 steps again, then 8 steps again. And after a while, you're up on the 5th floor. But you could never ask them to go straight up to the 5th floor. That's good, attractive proximity. And all the old people cities have it. If we look at cities with people structure, like old cities like Paris and Barcelona, you will find that it is not too complicated to make fantastic inviting proximity in these structures, because they were built for people. They were just taken over by the cars, and you just have to push the cars aside, and then you can be people again in these cities. If we go to the motor cities of the period after the modernism, it's very, very complicated to make any decent proximity in these structures. You can simply not walk there. You cannot bike there. Distances are too big. The rooms are too big. Everything is ugly, and it's a great problem. And I realize that when we talk about proximity, we very often goes back to the old structures which were made for people. It's so important. If you look at Dubai, it's a modernistic city versus still motorism and modernism. There's not much chance here to create inviting proximity in a place like this one. We know now we talk a little bit in the end about invitations. We know that it's very important what you invite people for. We have known for years and years that if we build more roads and make more lanes, we invite people to buy more cars and the traffic to grow. And we know that for sure. Henry Ford told his factory workers, go home to your communities and ask for more roads, and we can sell more cars. So if you invite car driving, you get more car driving. That is for sure. But we also know that if you invite people to walk more and to bicycle more, what will happen? And we know it from Copenhagen, where we have done this, and we have surveyed this for now 4 or 5 decades, that if you invite more walking, more bicycling, you will have more walking, you will have more bicycling, and you will have more public life. And people walking, they are also very important for friendly and safe neighborhood, and we've heard that several times today. So getting people out of the houses, getting them to use their communities is a very good way of supporting social life and safe neighborhoods. What shall we do for the bicyclists? They are just fast pedestrians. And if you look closer, they are sort of people, and they have the same visions about quality as any other people. So just make good city, and the bicycles will be all right. And also make sure to make a good network of safe bicycle lanes as we have in Copenhagen. then you will have more bicycling. Copenhagen, we are up to about 50% of everybody going to work now and study now on bicycles. I'll end up by showing you a little new project in Copenhagen. It's a brand new project, and actually, when I went around there, I realized this is indeed attractive and inviting proximity, and it's a brand new city district. It's not finished yet. It will have 5,000 inhabitants and 3,500 workplaces, and it's not a kilometer by kilometer, but it's walkable indeed. It is a modern 15-minute city, and it's lying in the harbor of Copenhagen. It reuses as many buildings from the harbor as it can, including the silos and the high structures, and it can be very close because they have no street parking, and they have a main street which is curving, and they do all the right things. It's very uncomfortable to be a car in this place, and if you look closer, they only allow very short time parking in very few places in this way. But there is a good metro, and it's good for walk, and it's good for bike. And if you want to park your car, what can you do? They have a parking house, but you have to get out of your bed and dress up and go 200 meters and climb up and get your car. And furthermore, you have to pay what it costs to have a car in a city. And they found now that when they have metro, walk and bike, people have much fewer cars than the rest of the city have. In the city of Copenhagen, every third family have access, a third household have access to a car. In this area, it's 1/10. So we reduce the car ownership and drivership, and we make more of the good stuff, good proximity. I wish all of you the best of luck in creating good, sustainable, attractive and inviting proximity. Thank you.